Yo, what's good everybody? Just a quick video on my thoughts on Hitchins' masterclass performance against Kambosos, because that's exactly what it was, right? It was a masterclass performance. And it might be some extreme recency bias here, seeing as the fight literally just wrapped up, but dare I say that Richardson Hitchins has the best jab in boxing. I mean, it's really quite perfect. Zero fat on it. It's straight, it's accurate, it's snappy, and it's damaging. There's no telegraph to it. There's no hints that it's coming. It literally just comes out of nowhere and hits the target at a very high rate. One of the truest, purest, best jabs in boxing, hands down. But his jab isn't his only weapon though, of course. His straight right is just as good, but more powerful. This man, Richardson Hitchins, literally has two identical, masterful straight punches. You know, very, very precise and sharp with his straights. And when he started mixing in hooks and body shots, he started looking lethal. That sorta gazelle hook to the body that dropped Kambosos was terrific, man. It was right on the money. It was venomous. And he even followed up with a right hand for good measure. You know, all in all, truly a splendid performance from Hitchins. He's a joy to watch, man. His technique is brilliant and he rarely breaks rules unless it's deliberate. But switching gears real quick, let's talk Kambosos. You see, I like Kambosos, right? He's good for boxing in my opinion. He's a warrior, true and true, and he shows it time and time again. And he always takes on the best. Something only a few in boxing can say, you know. So suffice to say, I respect Kambosos a lot and I like him, and most of the time I find myself rooting for him. I just don't understand why he chose to fight Hitchins, someone who he literally is tailor-made for. You know, Devin Haney already showed a blueprint to beat Kambosos, and here goes Kambosos fighting another fighter very similar to Haney. You know, Team Kambosos, make it make sense. You know, you barely won a round against Haney. In 24 rounds, you barely won a round. So why would you put George in that same position again? You know, it just doesn't make sense. But I guess it all boils down to money, like it always does. I guess the money was just too good to turn down. But if that's the case, the game plan should have been much better, right? Maybe it was. It just didn't look like it. George just couldn't avoid the jab, you know. Everyone knew what Hitchins was gonna do going into this fight. Why couldn't George do anything about it? You know, in fact, George Kambosos took way too many jabs just in the first 2 rounds alone that his eye was already, you know, starting to swell up. It was already marked up. He kept his head on a straight line, or he ducked to his right and he wouldn't switch up. And Hitchins quickly picked up on it and just pelted him from the outside over and over and over again. One thing I found odd was that George got hit, then he moved his head. You know, he would move, then keep it stationary again for 2 seconds until another jab connects, and the whole cycle just repeats. And that George's feet just wasn't there. He was flat, and his technique at times were sloppy. He was slow. He couldn't find his range, and truthfully, his punches were just ineffective. You know, he just doesn't pack a punch like that. He barely did at 135. Now that he's moved up to 140, the power is so irrelevant, you know. It's like it's not even a factor. It's so irrelevant that you even have someone like Richardson Hitchins walking him down, right? Hitchins showed zero respect because there was nothing to respect. So yeah, that covers Kambosos' performance, or what I thought of it. Truthfully, I just think it's time for him to hang it up. He's fought the best and had a tremendous upset victory over Teofimo Lopez, something that he will always have on his resume. And he's made a ton of money for his talents. You know, it's no point fighting and getting picked apart and stopped by the top dogs of the division. And it's no point in fighting subpar competition. So I think he should just call it and enjoy his life. You know, but that's just my 2 cents. Who am I? But I want to hear what you guys think Kambosos should do. Should he retire, or, you know, should he continue to make his bread? What about Richardson Hitchins? What do you think of him? Do you think he can be any of the other champions at 140? I know he's not a champion, but me personally, I need that Haney fight, right? I need that Haney smoke, or give me that Teofimo smoke. Or you know what? Someone who keeps getting forgotten by the public is Gary Antoine Russell. I need that smoke so bad. The boxing gods gotta make those 3 fights right there. Those are competitive, dynamic matchups. I need to see Hitchins in there with one of them guys next, But that's it for me. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I hope you have a lovely day.